I think we're just about ready to start. So with no further ado, Dietrich is going to help us, and this is our set. Ladies and gentlemen, for our very first premiere episode of Celebrate Kindness, your host and Student Council President, Hazel Sepenuk.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Celebrate Kindness, the talk show where kindness is king. This week marks the 5th year in a row that Larchmont Charter has celebrated No Name Calling Me. And this year's theme, Celebrate Kindness, let's explore the different ways that we students can make LCS a more accepting place to learn. That's why we love LCS, right? Because learning isn't just math and reading and science. Kindness can be learned too. And I hope that if nothing else sticks with you from today, you will remember this. Acts of kindness inspire acts of kindness. So today we're going to explore different ways that we students can make LCS a more kinder place to learn. But first, a word about our set. Do any of these colored squares look familiar? Yeah! Over the past couple of weeks, every student in every class was given a colored square and asked to illustrate a drawing of someone giving an act of kindness. Right now, you're looking at our results. Our talk show set is a mosaic of all your drawings put together to celebrate kindness. Remember that nasty white old plastic piece of sofa that none of you ever wanted to sit on? Well, we took it and plastered it and covered it over with your drawings and turned it into a kindness couch. Much better, huh? But first, this is a talk show, so we've got to have guests. So give it up for someone you all know, Ian Jewett! So you're a teacher here and you've been teaching for a lot of years. Was there ever a situation where someone made a bad decision?
There have been plenty, but there was one time in particular that I remember. It was about 5 years ago. It was my first year teaching at Larchmont Charter School, and we were doing an activity in my classroom, and one of the students used the word gay as a put-down, and a bunch of students started laughing about it, and it made me feel uncomfortable. It made a few other students uncomfortable, but one student in particular who has 2 dads was in the room, and it affected her a lot, and so we talked about it as a class, and I spoke later to Bill Walker, and we talked about solutions and ways that we could talk about this issue. And Bill took the issue to our principal at the time, Wendy Zacuto, and Wendy came back and had discovered that there was this thing called No Name Calling Week, and it was too late that year for us to be a part of it, but the next year we started doing it, and that's sort of how this whole thing began. And from that also we were able to have we had a big parent meeting just to discuss how we can begin to explore kindness in this way.
Yay. Were there any good decisions that someone made in a scenario that you thought was really good?
After this incident that year happened, there was Bill and Kelly came into the classroom, and we actually had we had this great sort of powwow. We sat in a circle, we talked about how families can be different and what that might look like. And I think that the students all participated and really thought about, we're able to spend that time to celebrate how we're all different, and I feel like we were also able to amend the situation that had happened earlier. And a lot of students were able to make good decisions from that discussion that we had.
Yay, give it up for Ian! Okay, our next guest here is someone that some of you might not be familiar with, but he's a new 5th grade student, and we're going to have a little discussion with him. So give it up for Kai Moran! How did you feel when you came to the school for the first time?
I was really definitely worried because I didn't have many friends, but I play baseball, so I have a lot of friends here in particular, so I had a good time.
And was there any people in particular that were nice to you and they helped you settle in?
Yeah, definitely. To name names, there's Henry Slam, who's somewhere over here. There's Nico Rice. And no Lippin.
Yeah. So when you got settled in and everything, was there any stuff that were different from the school that you went to before?
Oh yeah, it really depends. I would for recess, because I love recess. I mean, everybody does. We go with 3rd through 5th graders, so it was a lot different from that, definitely.
And was there anything the same that you liked from your school that was also here?
The teachers were awesome, of course. It was Kristen. And everybody else.
All right, thank you, Kai.
All right, thanks, Hazel.
Okay, next we have someone you all know like Ian, one of the 3rd grade teachers, Katie Slade.
Hello, hi everybody.
Okay, so you were a PE teacher before you were an actual teacher. Was there any? I rephrased that wrong. Okay, you were a teacher in PE before you were a class teacher. So, was there any times where you guys were playing a game and someone got hurt and there was something good that someone else did?
Yeah, there were some moments during some of our games where most of the games, they're very safe, but occasionally when people are on the track or doing something, they'll start going really fast and try and push themselves. And so one day someone did fall, and it was just really nice because I was on my way over to help, and before I could get there, a bunch of their classmates went over and just gave them a little pick-me-up and said, I hope that you're okay, and helped them up and brought them over to me. So it was great to see students helping other students and just showing their love and support for each other. So it was a good thing to see.
Good. And in your when you were actually transferred to a real teacher, like a class teacher, was there any time when someone made a bad decision that they shouldn't have done?
I think that as people, we make mistakes and things like that all the time. So I think that I have dealt with a lot of kids who just needed some counseling and some help with showing their kindness and finding ways to show kindness. So there have been instances like that. Do you mind if I share an instance from when I was a kid?
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I don't know if all the kids realize this, but a lot of us go through moments when we were name called and things like that when we were little. So when I was in middle school, it was about 7th grade that this happened, I had a really good friend, and we were working on a project together, and we were trying to show this country through drawings. And so there was this mountain that we were supposed to draw, and I wanted to color it brown, and she wanted to color it green. And we got in this really big argument about it. And what ended up happening is my friend was so frustrated that she found a word that rhymed with my last name, and she started going around the school and telling people that Katie Swain was a pain, and it really, really hurt my feelings. And so one of my friends came up to me and said, you know, I really think that we just need to sit down and talk about this. And so we did, and we sat down and we used our Esslers, which I didn't know the word Essler back then, until I'm so glad that I learned it now. And we sat down and we talked about all of the things that had happened, and it was just one person that it took to just kind of bring us together, and now all three of us are really good friends, and even though one lives in New York and one lives in San Diego, we get together every year to see each other, because that one conversation really brought us closer. So after mistakes got made, we all kind of became friends.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
Now it's time for some audience participation. So, for the past few weeks, you guys have been talking about in class scenarios in which someone can make a good decision or they can make a bad decision. And I have all of your scenarios in here, and I'm going to randomly pick one, and I want to volunteer to help me. And first, I'm going to have someone tell me a bad decision. So, Jill's class came up with, we're going to play soccer. Split up into 2 teams, the coach shouted. Students ran to each side of the field, most everyone sticking with their friends. Only 3 kids remained in the middle, unsure of where to go. 2 of them were awesome players. Each team fought over these 2 players, and each team got one of them. Now, there was only one boy left in the middle. Nobody is going to want me on our team, the boy thought. On each side, the children were whispering, I hope the other team gets him. He's terrible at soccer, and I want to win. This is a situation when it might be difficult to be kind. What would you do? So I'm going to pick someone from the audience, and I want them to tell me a bad decision that someone made. Okay, Brooklyn. You could come up here.
Maybe the other team might say you can have him because they know that he's a bad player, and they might not want it on the team because they want to win, and winning is bad.
Yeah, and what would you think if it was a bad decision the other team would say to the person? What would you say one of the teams would say to the person?
I would. Maybe I would say, I'm not really sure, but all the sentences maybe the person would say something like space. I would say that you can't play, and we didn't have a winner team, and yeah.
Thank you, Brooklyn. Now, can somebody give me a good decision? Maeve. What would be a good decision that someone could make in this situation?
A good decision would be where they say, hey, you can be on our team. We think you're a good player, and we'll teach you how to play really well like us.
Yeah, thank you, Maeve. I'm going to do the same thing one more time. Jessica's class, wait. Jessica's class came up with, one recess, there was a lonely kid walking towards 8 kids playing football. He asked them, "Can I play?" "No," said the biggest boy. A student watching the boy was sad for him. He wanted to help, but he wasn't sure how. What could he do to help the lonely kid? Can someone come up and give me a bad decision? Okay, Sam. Hi. Do you know a good decision, a bad decision that someone would make in this situation?
A bad decision. Well, they could go over and for him and say something mean, but we wouldn't do that.
What would you think that the boy who was sad for him? What could he do that was mean when he went over to the person?
He could that hurt them. He said something really offensive.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Sam. Okay, and I would have one more person. Oh my God, so much pressure. Okay. Can someone tell me a good decision? Yeah, Kasara, why don't you come over here? Good decision that someone would make? What would the boy say to the kid that would be nice? How about, would he say, you can come over and play with us, or would he say, I'll walk with you? Which one would he say? Ate it. What? What'd you say? Can someone help Kasar? You can come up here. What's your name? Edda. Okay, we have Edda. Edda, what would, you can sit down with Kasar. What would be a good decision that someone would make? What did you say? Can you say it a little louder? What would the boy who felt sad for the kid, what would he say? She said you can come play with us. You can come up and see if you can find the square that you made. It's on here somewhere, and you can find that. And who knows? Maybe you could sit with someone new today, and you can make a friend.